I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that. Could you run that by me again? That's what I thought you said. Oh, your eyes are as deep as the ocean and twice as likely to drown me. I mean, you're not wrong. And how original. Using water-themed pickup lines on a water nymph. Do tell me which muse blessed you with such wit. I'd love to have a laugh at her other favorites. Gods know I could use it. Oh, but there's more. Please do continue. No. I'm the most beautiful Undine. No, the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. Pray tell me, were all the other ladies as flattered when you told them that? Not to belittle you, but I have my suspicions. Oh, you even want to marry me? Well, aren't I born under a lucky star? You have a poem for me? Oh, if only you could take a hint as well as you take a cold shoulder. Fine, get it over with. Surely it can't be any worse than any of the other drivel you've wasted my time with. Somebody call Apollo. He's got a competitor for God of Poetry. Well, it's not particularly witty, but at least it rhymes. And besides, poetry is just writing that makes you feel something, and I am certainly feeling something right now. What did you just call me? I'm not a tsundere. I really just hate you. Tell you what, I think you're not really getting the subtlety here, so let me explain it to you with a poem of my own. I think it's pretty telling. I think it's no surprise. All the towns are yelling of your marital lies. If I had a copper for every wife you betrayed, I'd have the most proper luxuries ever paid. Well, were you touched by Apollo enough to interpret the meaning? I'll do you a favor and give it to you straight. Listen, I know you go from town to town marrying naive young maidens who have less sense than youth. You woo them with your ineloquent proposal, you get married to them, and then as soon as you've consummated the marriage enough to your twisted liking, you abandon them to go find your next victim. You're a womanizer, and I'm not so gullible as to fall for your tricks. Even so, do you still want to marry me? Really? Why am I not surprised? You know I'm an Undine, right? I would imagine you do, since, judging by the notes in your pocket, you seem intent on using every aquatic pickup line in the book. By the way, I will give you a heads up. None of them are good or even remotely clever. You do know about the deal with Undines, right? You do? I doubt that very much. I don't think you know much about us. Even so, are you intent on marrying me? You know I'm not your Juliet, and you'd be a fool to be my Romeo. Still? You still want to marry me? Well, I admire your audacity, if nothing else. Listen, maybe we got off on the wrong foot. Well, you did, anyway. But I am reluctantly willing to give you a chance. And I absolutely cannot stress the word reluctantly enough. To be completely honest, you are rushing recklessly into this marriage. You're moving way too quickly. I mean, you just learned my name today. I would hope, unless you're a stalker. Not to mention, the majority of our conversation has consisted of half-baked pickup lines and second-rate poetry. And Undines are the very personification of monogamy. If you are to marry me and be my husband, you absolutely must be loyal and faithful to me. There is no room for infidelity. Not to slight you, but I am highly skeptical that you're capable of handling this. Now, I will say it one last time. Are you absolutely certain that you want to marry me? Well, third time is the charm, I guess. Very well. It is with abject horror that I am considering your proposal. You know, I have always wanted to get married, ever since I was a little girl. But, and I know this might come as a shocking surprise to you, but no one wants to marry me. No one wants to marry an Undine, but you know all about that, right, Mr. Expert? But I don't want to be alone. Not any longer. You're an absolute idiot. Your greatest talent is the magnitude of your stupidity and the lengths you will go with your insensitive accosting. But even so, I hate to admit it, but it takes an idiot like you to marry me. Very well then, I have considered your proposal, and against my better judgment, I accept. We'll have the wedding right here, right now. No complaints, right? You're all about getting this over with as quickly as possible, I assume. Undine weddings are special. We don't need anyone to preside over us. I'll guide you through the ceremony. It's quite easy, quick, and simple. First, take my hands, and try not to be too much of a creep about it. Okay. Now all I need to do is recite my poem from the heart. Try to keep quiet for a moment while I do so. I saw you in the sky. You laughed as you flew. The range of your eye encompassed all you knew. In the abysmal sea, I envied your wings. I knew you were for me, with your pride of kings. With my grin half-hearted, you dived to my arms. Until we are departed, we are free from harms. Okay, now all that's left is the confirmation. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want to marry you. Will you? Will you marry me? Gods, I actually said it. Will you love me? Will you be eternally faithful to me? You will. To all three? I mean, of course you will. Why wouldn't you? I'm hopelessly out of your league. Now you may kiss the bride. Kiss me. And try not to enjoy it too much. I did it. I can't believe I did it. I finally achieved my dreams. I have a husband. I'm eternally joined with a husband. And I am utterly protected and safe from infidelity, sheltered by the binding magic of the ceremony. Oh, I could just have us dance and sing in the streets. But I'd rather keep you in a much more private environment. What do you mean you didn't know about the binding magic of the ceremony? You said yourself, didn't you, that you know all about Undines? Don't tell me you were less than honest. Even if you were ignorant, I specifically told you. If you are to marry me and become my husband, you absolutely must be loyal and faithful to me. There is no room for infidelity. That's what I meant. If a husband is unfaithful to his Undine wife, then the sanctity of the ceremony will curse him. If you betray me, then you will lose the ability to breathe unconsciously. In a short span of time, you will certainly die. And not even divorce or my death would lift the curse. What are you doing? Why are you crying? Why are you throwing a fit? Stop kicking that. You just told me you wanted to marry me. That you will love me. That you will eternally be faithful to me. So then what does the curse matter? Why is it so hard to be faithful to me? What happened to that bullshit poem you told me, huh? Oh, I'd die for you. Suffocate till my face turns blue. I'd build bridges over seas that you may not wet your knees. I'd move heaven and earth just for a chance of your mirth. You liar! You playboy! You can't even move your head out of the gutter, much less heaven and earth. I am your blushing bride, and you're not even acknowledging my suffering. You don't care about me at all. This was supposed to be our happy ending. But I suppose not everyone deserves a happy ending. It's okay. Well, you may be a fool, to use an understatement, but at least the curse accounts for your foolishness. It doesn't matter how much you dislike it. The curse is holding you hostage. But tell you what, if you don't want to be chased, why don't you just try your shot at love in the next life?
Come along.
What do you mean, where to? To our home, of course. I'm the only one you can, consummate with. And I don't think you, of all people, will willingly be celibate. So whether you love me or not, you are my husband and you will act like it. Now, like I said, come along. That's what I thought. Husband.